Do you feel like you're on the hot seat this year?
What is the hot seat?
So, you know, if you don't fail to perform as expected, do you think you...
Well, I think that's true of everybody. But I'll say this: in the Buttsburg building, there's not any gloom and doom in that building. There's excitement in that building, and a great sense of anticipation for this season. I mean, we're all excited that the record is 0-0, and it's a new year and a new season. But you know, I'm excited about playing this season, playing these games, and our players. I think we have created a lot of very positive momentum within our program, within our team. Even last night was kind of a fun night because we had Nike came in and allowed us to show the players the uniforms that they're going to wear in the opening game, the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic game against Boise State, and they were gracious to allow our team to see it before the public got to see it, and we actually had a little fun with that. I actually had a team meeting and had everybody in there ready to go at 6 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock I turned to our director of football operations, Brad Hutcherson, and I'm like, who's missing? He's like, well, Murray and Boykin are missing. And I'm like, so I take my notepad and I slam it on the ground and I start, I don't know if I cussed or not, but I started throwing a fit and saying, that's the problem with our team right now. We got two of our team leaders, we got a team meeting at 6, they can't even show up on time. I'm like, can you go see if you can find them guys? And then I think Ben Jones was trying to defend him or something. I gave him heck and he just sat there, you know. So it was kind of like, oh man, coach is pissed. And then Boykin and Murray came walking in wearing the full gear, the full get-up of our new unis. And then the guys were like, first they were in shock, and then they really got excited, had some fun. So, but that's just one little thing. But there's a lot of really positive energy in this building, and you know, playing Boise State in game 1, you know, a lot of people ask me why would you do that? Well, a year ago we weren't doing very well. A year ago we had declined in our record. We had declined in the way people see our program, and in the way, you know, just the way we're being perceived in the college football world. And I'm like, we need to change that, and you can't change that by just playing a team that is not even a Division I football team. You know, you do that by playing a great football team. And I think just the fact that we put Boise State on our schedule really generated a lot of excitement. I had some seniors that were bummed out they weren't going to be there because they knew it was going to be a big day, a big game. It was going to be in the dome, and it was going to be a special time. And when you play a team that's very capable of whipping your tail, it gets your attention in a hurry. And I think it excited our players and coaches and fans. You know, I think our signing class, the way it, you know, gained momentum little by little, day by day, and then, you know, had a great crescendo at the end with on signing day, and even a couple days after signing day, we got Jonathan Jenkins to come in, who we thought was the best nose guard in America, junior college ranks. We just, you know, a lot of really positive things have happened. And I'll say this: there's been a few guys that have gotten off the bus, so to speak. Some have volunteered. Some of them wanted to leave because they didn't like the way things were going and the way we were working them. And some guys got a little help going out the door, you know. But the guys that are here right now, they're excited about playing for Georgia and ready to go.
Coach, what do you think, Aaron Murray?
About your freshman running back, Roel,
Isaiah?
Yeah, what do you expect he's going to have to
What do I Well, you know, I don't expect him to save Georgia or put this team on his back and all that kind of stuff. I expect him to learn what to do. I expect him to do things the Georgia way, and I expect him to come in and do whatever he can to help the team. Now, am I hopeful that it's a big contribution on the field? I do. I hope it is. But you know, we're not gonna give him a job. He's got to earn it. We're not going to give him playing time. He's got to earn it. But when you sign a guy who you believe is a very special talent, which I do, you're very anxious to see how he's going to practice, how he's going to compete. And then we'll be very anxious to see. Hopefully, by the end of our 29 practices, we'll be very anxious to see what he's going to do in the game.
Well, Mark, you talked about Isaiah there. I mean, he's instrumental with the attrition at running back. I mean, you talked about guys.
Yeah, you would think so, because there is attrition. We lost Caleb King and Washawn Eaton. I mean, that's very obvious and public knowledge. But we did take Richard Samuel and move him back to the running back position. So we're really one less than we thought we'd be going into camp. And the thing about Richard is he played tailback for 2 seasons for us. He played under this system. He knows the terminology. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it. He didn't forget those things. He's 6'2", 240 pounds, and runs a sub 4.5 40. I mean, he's a man now. And, he's physically a man, and he's a mature man. So he's going to bring some stability and some maturity to that position. And I'll say this about Richard: he's not much for dodging people, but that's okay. You know, I've seen a lot of big backs that are just like to, you know, run hard, and when you run into somebody at the end, you want to get yards after contact, break tackles, and if he does get some space, he can take it the distance because he is very fast. So, you know, I think that he's going to bring a lot of maturity to that spot. And we've got other guys that we can put the ball in their hands and they can, you know, move the chains and score points. So we're not going to sit there and say it's Isaiah or bust. It's not that way. I don't want him to feel that kind of pressure, and it's not true. Now, again, if he comes in and scrimmages well, practices well, proves that he can, you know, do things the way we were asking him to do them on and off the field, then he may make a big splash. I hope he does, but I'm not sitting here saying if he does, Georgia has success, and if he doesn't, we won't have success. I don't see it that way.
What do you hope that Aaron Murray learned from last year to take forward to this year?
Say again?
What do you hope that Aaron Murray learned from last year to take forward this year?
Well, I hope Aaron learned that the key to winning is preparation. The key to winning is, as a quarterback, is to make good decisions. The key to winning is to create habits that will help you for your entire career when it comes to ball security, ball fakes, decisions in the pocket, all those things. I think he has learned those things. Plus, he weighs 215 pounds today. He's a bigger, stronger man. He's a more mature guy. I don't think. Well, I know there's not one person in our program that questions his leadership. From what I understand, the summer workouts that him and Ben Jones and Brandon Boykin kind of headed up have been just tremendous. So he learned a lot. But now he had a mindset going into last season where he was a little unsure, and he was thinking in terms of not giving the game away and things of that nature. What I don't want him to do is go into this season and say, well, now I can go wild, you know, do whatever I want to do and all that. He still has to maintain some of those great habits that he had a year ago. But we have faith in him.
One last question.
You talked about Aaron Murray.
Killing you guys.
Yeah. You talked about last year with Murray. What's year 2 mean for Todd Grantham's 3-4 for you guys?
I think it's huge. You know, year 2 for Coach Grantham's defense, Georgia's defense, going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. I don't think there's any question that the players today, compared to a year ago, you just can't hardly recognize them when we snap the football. A year ago, they were trying to learn Coach Grantham, Coach Lakatos. You know, what are these coaches expecting of us? You know, what is my assignment? What do I do on this play? And not so much, you know, now they're to the point where they know what to do. Now they're going to learn, they're learning how to do it better. They're learning to perfect their techniques. And now we have something to draw on experience-wise. You know, when we play game 1, if Boise State does a little something that we didn't prepare for that particular game, but we might have seen it a year ago. And this is how we handled it a year ago. Now, Coach Grantham, in between series, can say, hey, they're doing this, so-and-so did it last year, remember when we did this? And you'll have 80% of the guys nod their head going, oh yeah, I remember that. You know, so I think all that's going to help. Plus, we had a year to recruit for the 3-4 scheme, and I think that's going to help us too. Okay?
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.